Quick disclaimer here, trading is very risky and carries a high level of risk. Anything said here is not a financial advice. Make sure you trade with money you can only afford to lose. Stay safe. Hi guys, it's a beautiful weekend out here. And as usual, we're going to be looking at what we've always been looking at, which is Euro CHF, Gbp Gpui, Euro USD, and a little touch of crypto and volatility index. So without further ado, let's start with Euro CHF and where we stopped last week. Yeah, some weeks ago we talked about Euro CHF being bearish, and then we had this supply zone here, and then this supply zone here. But if you can remember clearly, I was talking about this supply zone over here, because I said clearly that this supply zone was acting as an inducement to this supply zone, if you can remember clearly. So to get the recording, you can just go back or click on the card. It's going to come up in a minute, so you can then watch it when you are done. This is how it's going to be like. So the entry is here. We have a 5 minutes entry or 1 minute entry, whichever entry confirmation you would love to use. And yeah, so I'll be removing this supply zone at the moment, and we have a 5 minutes. We always want to go down to the 5 minutes to look for confirmation entry. Then yeah, this will be the entry over here. Since we've gotten a break of structure from here, like this, then this is going to be the supply zone, right? This is going to be the supply zone. Yeah, so you can see what happened over here. It didn't get the full pullback we actually needed to get. So how could you have entered here again? Sometimes there are some type of traders that trade, what's it called? They trade imbalance and the likes. So those that trade imbalance or fair value gaps, I'll just say fair value gap. So we have a fair value gap here, and then we have a fair value gap here. So the entry is going to be somewhere here, and then the stop loss is going to be above the wick like this. Yeah, something like that. So those traders using FVG would have entered here nicely. You can see. So how do you get fair value gaps? Fair value gaps, you look for a very long candle, which is more like a candle with imbalance, right? Then you look at the week before, the week after, and then the week before. Okay, so let's look for a fair value gap here. We have a nice candle here that is extremely long, and this is the week before, right? Sorry, and that is the week after, and then the week before is here, right? So your entry is going to be there and stop loss will be above. So let's look for another candle again for fair value gap. We have a long imbalance candle here. We have a week after like this, and then we have a week before like this, right? So the second entry for fair value gap will be here, stop loss above. You understand? So you get the points around fair value gaps now. So let's just keep going like this. So you don't want to look for fair value gaps anyhow. You just want to look for fair value gaps probably at entries, or using them as confluence alongside your sell zone, supply zone, or your buy zone, demand zone. You get my point now. So looking at this long imbalance candle here, where's the fair value gap going to be? The week after, just like that, and the week before. You can see. So that's where the stop loss is going to be. And yeah, you can see what happened there. Stop loss is going to be above, and you can get the idea now. So that is the way fair value gap works, and it's a very nice style of looking for entries. But personally, I don't use it since I use my supply and demand, and most of the time I always get my pullbacks. And if I don't get my pullbacks, I just leave it and let it run. You understand? But for those having issues with fair value gaps, because I always get these questions a lot, so that is a simple way to use fair value gaps. Okay, so any other way again, look at this imbalance here. Now you can see this one is so long that you have to go down to probably the 1 minute to get the right position to enter over there. And so let's keep checking. Yeah, so we have a nice imbalance candle over here. Now where's the week before? We have the week before here, and then The week after is somewhere here. You can see it's very high, exactly on the same spot. So I wouldn't like that zone. But you can see what happened. Market stabbed in nicely and went up. Okay. So try to wick it again, went up. Asian session came. Try to wick it again, went up. You understand? So till it becomes invalid, you understand? So making it invalid, you only need one touch, you understand? You only need one touch. After a single touch, then you can consider it invalid. Okay. So let me check again for more. That will be the last one. Okay, that will be the last one. So we have a nice imbalance candle here, and where can we consider having the fair value gap over this candle? We have something here, and then we have something here, right? So you can use this as your main point of interest, right? Some people use fair value gaps as main point of interest, and some people use it as entries immediately. So they set instant pending orders, you know, and they like. So let's see how this went. You can see now this one pierced through, it didn't wait at all. So you understand now. It all depends on your style. If you're using it for your confirmation zone, then it means you're going to wait for a 1 minute confirmation entry here. Or if you're using it aggressively, then it means you're going to set instant spending orders here. You understand? But the best way I would advise to use FVG is using it as entry confirmation and not as point of interest. You understand? So the reason the FVG might not work here was due to the fact that maybe this zone was not, you know, a valid supply zone coming from, you know, the 1 hour time frame. You get my point now. But adding minutes also work. Then, you know, there are different reasons for different market movements and different market behaviors. Yeah. So looking at Euro CHF, you can see now. So those of you that follow the YouTube channel, if you paid attention to that, you'd have taken a beautiful sell off that supply zone, because I was looking at this as an inducement, and then this tapped it nicely and then it's played out as we expected. Okay. Now, what do we have? Broke through this demand zone. So I'll be deleting that demand zone. Now we are still bearish. Okay. We are still very bearish. Now we have this break of structure here, broke out from this low, right? Broke out from this low over here. Break of structure. Yeah. So where's the supply zone? Where's the high that caused this breakout? It's always this high, right? Yeah. This high. So market is currently there. I'm expecting sales exactly on this high, right? So I would love to see a sell from here. Or else we have another high here. Okay, we have another high here. So these two highs are valid, two supply zones are valid to sell from. You understand? So I really love what I'm seeing here. And then you want to, you know, jump into the smaller time frames to look for confirmation entry. Maybe the 5 minutes, something like that, sort of wyckoff over here, and then you can take your trades. Or this will be your first CP here. This will be your first CP, right? And then second CP might be this extra low here. Okay, so let me draw out my tool from here. First target, then second target. So this is the second supply zone I'm expecting to drop from. Okay, yeah, so this is what I'm expecting. These are my expectations on Euro CHF. Then moving now to Euro USD. Last week we had drawn out some nice supply zones and nice demand zones which market is reacting to currently. Okay, so I really love these reactions, and if you've been following, also get these reactions and this movement. Let's quickly move to the weekly time frame. Yeah, weekly has been so bearish, touching the weekly supply. I think I explained this too. Then moving down to the daily time frame, nicely mitigating the daily supply zone. And let's move to the 4 hours now. Okay, so the 4 hour time frame, you can refine the zones, yeah, to the body of the candle. Then moving to the 1 hour time frame, you can also refine, you know, you keep refining till you are fine. Yeah, touch the supply zone, dropped nicely. Then for looking for entries, definitely we'll be using your 5 minutes confirmation entry over here. So the entry is going to be somewhere here. Entry is going to be here or here, depending on your style. And stop loss is going to be above like this. Yeah, so you can see slightly tapped the entry and then dropped. So for me, I might not take this trade because there was news, and then I'll just get out of the market. You understand? But get the idea behind taking the trade right now. Still the same process over and over again. We didn't use any supply zone here because there was no breakout structure, right? And then you should know that I used the supply zone because we got this beautiful breakout structure to the left, and markets came into that zone. So even though market didn't tap into the zone, at least you understand the reason for taking a sell over there. Then what are my expectations on Euro USD again? So Euro USD, the 1 hour time frame over here, did the most. You can see it's still dancing inside the 1 hour, and now it's giving us this kind of range. Okay, giving us this kind of range. So let's move to the 5 minutes time frame to look for confirmation trades. Yeah, we can use this demand zone here, stop loss below, and stuff like that. So but now there is Asian liquidity here, so I like to use my stop loss below the Asian liquidity, or I'll wait for Asian liquidity grab, then after the liquidity grab I'll look for my entry. Okay, so that is what I would love to see. And nicely, it didn't grab liquidity here, so first entry would have worked out, because for me taking this kind of trade, to be half 0.5 over here, then after the 0.5, the next 0.5 would be after the liquidity grab, you understand? So I wouldn't want to miss the whole move, and you can see it did almost like 60 pips over here. Yeah, 61 pips. So just sharp after the London session, like that. So I would have ignored this trade, and moving to the next day, still came back to the zone, cleared this low. Yeah, cleared this low now, and then probably the entry is going to be on the demand here, stop loss below, like this. Yeah, so that is what I've been waiting for. Okay, so you can see this one pierced through the SL after how many days? Okay, after a day. Definitely I'll have deleted my order because I don't hold my pending order so long. Once an Asian session is forming again, because I know the spread might widen, you understand? So I'll have deleted my pending orders too. So this one, if I didn't delete pending order, pierced through, went through, and playing around the 1 hour point of interest. Okay, so it's still fine, still very fine. Now we have another 1 hour demand zone over here. Yeah, so we can try to fill this imbalance here, at least to some extent. Okay, then continue the bearish moves. So I'll be deleting this and this. Okay, this one is creating liquidity for this demand zone over here, so you have to be careful about that. Now moving next to Gbp Gpui, the price action on Gbp Gpui has not been so nice for some days now. It looks like it has been ranging for a very long time. So since it's ranging to the downside, definitely want to look for supply zones to take sales like this, right? Yeah, so then we can move to 15 minutes time frame for something different. Okay, counter trend trades. But now liquidity is being created, so probably Asian session will grab the liquidity and look for buys into this supply zone. Last but not the least, we have Btc USD. Yeah, so Btc USD, I analyzed last week, took a little sell, just a very little sell from over here. I was expecting to fill this imbalance here, but look at what happened. Just dropped a little bit, Yeah, the setup and signal was sent to the VIP, then took it, dropped, and then break even. Now it's tapped into an extreme supply zone and is selling massively. So what I'm expecting is, now since this imbalancing gets so much filled, I don't think it should fill this one soon. So but it now looks like it's filling this gap over here with these movements. You can see now that this imbalance has almost been filled, but nonetheless this imbalance might also be filled and then continue dropping again. Nobody knows. Okay, we can't see right now. But what am I expecting on BTC over here? Let's back to the weekly. Yeah, you can see now it's still ranging over here, and target here is still 11K. still standing on that, at least for now. No shifts in buyers yet, and we had a touch of this little supply zone from the 1 hour time frame. Yeah, touch from that little supply zone on the 1 hour time frame, tapping it, dropping massively. Didn't take the trade though because there was news, and now we have this range just like what we have on Euro USD. Okay, so let's break out of this range, and then I'd love to see sales from probably here or the extreme supply zone. Okay, so we have the same buyers on Euro USD right now, and then you can take counter trades over here after getting the required confirmation. Okay, you don't just want to jump in, you want to wait. Now we are looking at another demand zone here. Yeah, we have a demand zone over there, but it looks like it hasn't touched it so well. But looking at the week, it has mitigated the week, right? But nonetheless, let's check 15 minutes or 5 minutes. So the 5 minutes entry is going to be here. Are we using half of this demand? Okay, so this one will be risking less trade. You understand? You don't want to go all in inside this, because you still have a nice and extreme demand zone over here. Okay, but nonetheless, the target will still be here. Okay, so that'll be it, guys, on BTC. You understand? So the last but not the least we're going to be analyzing is going to be volatility index, and yeah, that will be all. Yeah, we're back on volatility 75 1S index. Then the next we'll be looking at is 75 index, moving to 100 index. Yeah, we're here last week looking for a sell confirmation trade here. But look at what's happened. Pierce through, didn't give any confirmation for sell, so you would have no reason to take any sell over there. And now current market price, we have a nice demand here. Yeah, I'd love to see that extreme zone mitigated, and we have market reacting to this supply zone here. Yeah, so I'd love to see more sell trades from this supply zone. Definitely I'll be using my confirmation entry to take anything before I sell. So yeah, that'll be it. We can just go to the 5 minutes to look forward to set sell limits pending orders. Yeah, like this. Then to still be very nice and less risky to set a sell limit pending order over here. But for me, I would not want to sell right now. I've not gotten the confirmation I would like to see before taking this sell. Okay, so that is just it. But for those who use this kind of entry, the entry is okay right now to take a sell. But for me, I will still wait to see what I would love to see. So moving next, we have volatility 75 index. Volatility 75 index. Yeah, last week. Nice. So I think we're looking at selling from this supply here, and now you can see it's played out nicely well. I was looking at the 15 minutes time frame. Oh, I think that has already happened. Yeah, I think, yeah, market was still around here when we were analyzing this last week. So nice supply zone. So 1 minute here. Let's check the 1 minute. I just hope this would go back that far. Since it's a 15 minute supply zone, okay, 1 minute is not showing right now. Okay, still loading. Since it's a 15 minute supply zone, it is still nice to use, jump to 1 minute and look for confirmation entries over there. You understand? So 1 minute is not loading. Let's use 2 minutes. And then if 3 minutes doesn't load, if 2 minutes doesn't load, then let's still see. So over here we have 2 minutes time frame, and it doesn't want to show up. It doesn't want to show up. But nonetheless, Let's use 3 minutes time frame now. Okay. Yeah. We got this break of structure here. This will be the supply zone, right? And the entry will be somewhere here. Stop loss above and moved nicely well. Second entry will be here. Second entry will be there. Yeah. Stop loss above. Yeah. So it's still very nice like that. And what am I expecting on volatility 75 index now? What I'm expecting, I think the market is a little bit ranging right now, so I would like to say break out of the range. There's a demand zone here, extreme demand. Yeah, we have a supply zone here. Yeah, we have that supply zone there. So we've missed the sell already, but nonetheless, you can just wait for the demand to come, market to come here. I'd have loved to use this demand zone, right? But it's on a zone of liquidity. It's on a zone of liquidity, so I'll just wait till I get something reasonable. Then volatility 100 index, the last but not the least. Okay, we didn't touch volatility 100 index, but right now looking at this trend, it's not so clean, but you can get the best of it. We have a supply zone there, nice supply zone, and you know, confirming sells, liquidity and the likes. So you wait for your what? You wait for your sell confirmation before jumping in. Sell confirmation before jumping in, and I think that will be all for now. If you are new to this channel, make sure you subscribe. Also, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and also drop a comment. Let me know what are your thoughts. If you subscribe, turn on the notification icon so you can get notified whenever I drop beautiful content like this. Peace, guys. I'm out.